Look at a company like Uber, they had to bend the rules to be successful.
I think I feel fear quite strongly. So it's not as though I just have the absence of fear. I feel it quite strongly.
40% of all jobs they project in the next 10 years are going to disappear because of technology.
Want to be happy? Build a life, not just a business.
Living that believe in life. Out here living that believe in life. Every day we living that believe in life. Hustle like we living that believe in life. Living life, yeah, so we grinding it out. Every single day we be grinding it out. Hustle like we living that believe in life, oh. That believe in life, oh.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You've got Michael Jordan level genius at something. So today, let's live your best believe life and learn the 7 things that poor people do that rich people don't. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with thing number 1. Poor people play by the rules with Jordan Peterson.
Silicon Valley tends to be liberal. Everyone knows that. And the reason for that is that there's a tremendous number of entrepreneurs there. And entrepreneurs tend to be high in openness and lower in conscientiousness. So they're creative, but they're also willing to break rules, which you kind of have to do often. Hopefully not to a criminal extent, but you have to. It's tricky when you're trying to establish something new, because look at a company like Uber, they had to bend the rules to be successful. And those companies that have rented those scooters out and put them on the streets everywhere, they just kind of went ahead and did it. It's not something an orderly person would do because they'd ask for permission, whereas the people who started these scooter rental companies just said, well, what'll happen if we put them everywhere? And the answer was, that seemed to work, but, you have to have a rule-breaking proclivity in order to manage that.
Thing number 2, poor people are fearful with Elon Musk.
You are unusually fearless and willing to go in the face of other people telling you something is crazy. And I know a lot of pretty crazy people, you still stand out. Where does that come from, or how do you think about making a decision when everyone tells you this is a crazy idea? Or where do you get the internal strength to do that?
Well, first of all, I'd say I actually think I feel fear quite strongly. So it's not as though I just have the absence of fear. I feel it quite strongly. But there are just times when something is important enough, you believe in it enough, that you do it in spite of the fear.
So speaking of important things.
Like, people shouldn't think, people shouldn't think, well, I feel fear about this and therefore I shouldn't do it. It's normal to feel fear. Like, there'd have to be something mentally wrong if you didn't feel fear.
So you just feel it and let the importance of it drive you to do it anyway? Yeah.
Actually, something that can be helpful is fatalism to some degree. If you just accept the probabilities, then that diminishes fear. When starting SpaceX, I thought the odds of success were less than 10%. And I just accepted that actually probably I would just lose everything. But that maybe would make some progress. If we could just move the ball forward, even if we died, maybe some other company could pick up the baton and keep moving it forward, so that would still do some good. Same with Tesla. I thought the odds of a car company succeeding were extremely low.
Thing number 3, poor people don't learn from their mistakes with Jack Ma.
If you want to be successful, learn from the other people's mistakes. Don't learn from the successful stories. Successful stories they make, don't listen to that. There are a lot of reasons behind it. Just like, I remember the first time Harvard Business School came to us, say, Jack, we want to write a case study for you. That's years 2001 or 2000. They came, they spent 1 week, and they write a report, and I read, I said, this is not me. And they said, this is you. I said, no, this is not us. He said, this is you. So they make up his sign, and the case study go up, and they start to teach in a lot of universities. The next 5 years, they invited me to go to the case study, and they always find a competitor of my company. And after every case study, Alibaba will die, that company will succeed. All the students agree. And actually, every 5 years, all the competitors die, we still survive. So how can you study this kind of a successful story? Learn from the mistakes, the other people. No matter how smart you are, you will encounter these mistakes. You learn from mistakes not because you will be able to avoid mistakes. You will able to, when these mistakes come, this suffer comes, you know how to deal with it, how to face it. The book I want to write, if I can, is Alibaba 1001 Mistakes. This is the most treasurable things that in my life. In my life, it's not how much we achieved, it's how much we go through the tough days and mistakes.
Also, if you want to have more self-belief and self-confidence, I've designed a special free program to help you get it, where I send you a video every day for 254 days. The research says it can take up to 254 days for you to build a new habit, and this program will help you get it. Once again, it's free, and the link to join is in the description below.
If you're going to speak effectively, you have to know way more than you're talking about.
When you want to do something new, you have to apply the physics approach.
I remember 9 years ago when I started at Alipay, people say, Jack, don't touch the financing sector because it's illegal, you may be in prison.
Thing number 4, poor people don't adapt, with Tony Robbins.
I always tell people the most valuable lesson I got from my mentor, Jim Rohn, was I asked my father, worked 2 jobs. We were always broke. We had no money for food. And we lived in a community we moved to, which was, I thought they were all rich and we were on the other side of the tracks. It was a lower middle class, but compared to where we lived before, these people seem rich compared to us. And I just didn't understand it. And Jim said to me, Tony, it's not about the value of your soul, it's about the value of you in the marketplace. And your father's skills are not that valuable. He was an underground parking attendant, and he would take people's ticket and make change. Well, the research now shows, it's being done at Yale, it's being done overseas in England as well, and they found that 40% of all jobs they project in the next 10 years are going to disappear because of technology. It's going to be replaced by an algorithm, it's going to be changed. You know, all these guys on Wall Street, you're seeing all these algorithms take over and they're getting rid of all these traders, right? It's changing radically in these hedge funds. There's 3 million truck drivers. Self-driving cars are here. In the next 5 years, they will be the standard, certainly within 7 or 8 years. Are you going to hire someone who can only work 8 hours a day and sometimes gets drunk or can make a mistake when you can buy a machine, write down the machine, and be in a position where it works 24 hours a day driving? But no one is telling these drivers this, and they have to retool now. So technology is the biggest challenge. Labor is less valuable because of efficiencies with technology, and it's going to get better and better for technology, which is scary when you think about what's going to happen for jobs. So I say to people, you got to participate in your own rescue. You've got to retool yourself. The idea that Bernie Sanders has of providing free education sounds wonderful, but the education he wants to do is community college. There are no skill sets in community colleges today, for the most part, that are going to prepare you for the economy or a job that's there. So what is that going to do? You're just going to waste more money, more time. We need to retool ourselves. The government's not going to do it for you.
Thing number 5, poor people don't read, with Warren Buffett.
I should mention one thing about reading. It was at the library here at Columbia that I wish I spent probably more time than any other student. I lived there practically. But I pulled a book out there, happened to be Who's Who in America, and it told me something about my professor, Benjamin Graham, and then I looked up and I went to the library and I said, I want to learn more about this because I learned this over here. That changed my whole life. You know, we own Geico now because of that librarian directing me to some other book and then following through on that. It's the chance. I read about 1/5 the pace that Bill does, but I still spend 5 or 6 hours a day reading. I mean, it just, you can learn so much. I particularly love biography. Just to be able to live the lives of these people that have been so extraordinary, the lessons and the discouragements they face, just everything about it. So you can't get enough of reading.
Thing number 6, poor people don't know how to sell, with Robert Kiyosaki.
I always say the number one skill of an entrepreneur is the ability to sell or communicate. Number one, because sales equals income. So if your sales are down, your income's down. But it's not just selling your customer, you got to sell your employees, That's really tough, you know. And then next is selling my investors. So I'm selling investors, I'm selling employees, I'm selling customers, and I'm selling myself. You know, I got to talk myself into, I don't have the pleasure of being down. Entrepreneurs have got to be up. Because if you're down, your employees know it, your customers know it, the market knows it. So number one is sales. But when you look at the big picture, there's three things an entrepreneur must learn. Number one is PR. And what you're talking about is PR. The other day, Fox News interviewed me to find out if I would endorse my friend Donald Trump for president. You know how much that's worth? You know, they co-branded us. Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, and Trump. That's incredibly priceless. You know, so getting PR is a number one skill. Under that is marketing. And what marketing does is like advertising. They want to set the customer up to get ready to buy. Oh yeah, I saw that Kia ad. I want to buy a Kia. I want to buy some land, and I want to buy this. So the customer is now primed to buy. That's marketing's job. Then the last thing is a sale. So if you've done a really good job on PR, then you've done a great job on marketing. The sale is like that. You know, they walk in, they buy. But if you have no PR and you have no marketing, you have to pound, hard close on, well, Mr. Customer, you know, today's changing business environment, you know, you should buy my insurance and all. And people today hate sales pitches more than ever before. So the number one sales job of a true entrepreneur is develop your ability to get PR. And I'll say it again, most entrepreneurs are not good at sales. They're horrible at marketing. They have no idea what it is. And they can't get any PR. And so they struggle. And again, sales equals income. So they crash.
And thing number 7, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is poor people can't influence and persuade with Jordan Belfort.
The biggest misconception is that persuasion is really for salesmen, that you learn to be a closer because you want to become someone who makes money selling stuff. And nothing could be further from the truth. Persuasion among all skills is the one that cuts through to every aspect of your life. And I don't care, you know, you're a salesman trying to close a deal, you're an entrepreneur trying to sell the vision for the future that you have to your sales force, to your employees, to your customers. You could be a politician trying to sell your constituency on voting for you. You could be a pastor or a priest or a rabbi trying to, you know, influence your congregation on the value of believing in God and a certain moral code. You could be a teacher trying to influence your students, a parent trying to influence your children to make their beds or do their homework. It goes on and on. I can go on and on and on. So persuasion is a skill that really, without it, you know, I have to say good luck trying to really be successful in this world. It's certainly not the only thing that you need to learn, but you can have almost everything else in place. You could have the greatest idea. You could have the greatest strategies for marketing things. You can have the greatest work ethic. You could have your whole inner game set straight. We have a vision for your future, the whole 9 yards. But if you can't close the deal, or if you don't know how to speak to people in a way where they'll want to buy into your vision and in a way that empowers them and moves them to take action, then good luck trying to get what you want in life. So what I want to really share with you today, and it's a very short time we have together, is this idea about ethical persuasion, ethical selling, and ethical influence. And there's a fundamental difference between ethical persuasion and what I was doing back in the day. And I'll tell you exactly what it is. It has very little to do with the system, the straight line system. That's not what it's about. It's about what your intent is. The biggest mistake that I made when I invented the straight line system back in 1988 is that it was so powerful and so effective at closing deals and getting people to do things that you wanted to do. But I didn't have the restraint to say, you know what, you're only supposed to use this to get people to do things they should be doing, to buy things they should be buying. At the cornerstone of ethical persuasion is this fundamental core concept that I will not persuade someone to do something that is not in their best interest. And that has to be like sort of really the cornerstone of everything that you do. It's not about I'm going to persuade this guy so I can make money, whether he needs my product or not, or I'm going to persuade this guy to buy 8 of these items when he only needs 2 because I can make more money if he buys 8. You get it? So it's and it's crucial, because if you have that sort of gut check that I'm not going to use this to get people to do things they should not do, you're going to end up on the right side of things pretty much all the time.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video, and how are you going to take action on it this week? When you schedule in what day, what time, and what place you're going to take action, you have a 91% chance of actually following through versus just a 35% chance if you just got motivated but never created a specific plan. And when you share your plan publicly and have some accountability, you increase your chances even further of actually following through. So I want to know your single biggest takeaway and your plan of action this week in the comments so I can celebrate you.
Most people don't fail enough. Most people are so afraid of a huge fail that they don't even try. You're afraid of taking a big bet, you're afraid of going into deep debt, and that fear prevents you from having the thing that matters the most right now in your business: momentum. You don't need to fail big, but you do need to start. Otherwise, you will never build the big business that you're capable of building. So I'm a big fan of going from idea to action. Idea to action, idea to action, idea to action. You get an idea, what do? You take action. Teach yourself, train yourself. As soon as you get that idea, don't judge it, don't think about it, don't plan and ponder and strategize, because your list of ideas is a mile long and it's not gonna get any shorter. You're a genius, you come up with great ideas. You're gonna keep coming up with ideas for the rest of your life. That list of ideas is not gonna shrink. So how do you start moving? You take action. I call it the 2% difference. Instead of planning to get to 100% for your idea, what's the 2% difference that you can just do something about right now? I think your ideas came to you for a reason. I think it's inspired. Why are you thinking about this thing? Don't judge the reason, just go off and do something. One small conversation, one small action. Start building momentum. That's the thing that's missing right now, is momentum. You need more momentum. You're a genius. You have great ideas. You should be changing the world. What's missing is momentum, and I want you to find it.
If you want to change your life for free in the next 30 days, check out my training right here below. Or if you want to learn how to develop an insane work ethic, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.